Hey, what's going on YouTube? Doing kind of an informative video today. Um, I'm doing some lights here at the house, and while I'm not gonna do the install part on video because I don't have long enough with my 15 minutes to show you that, or how to build them because every light I've ever built was different. There's some similarities, but they're typically all different unless you're buying the exact same fan. Um, Before I do a job, I grab, basically my tools that I normally keep with me whenever I'm doing this type of work. Sometimes I get away with using an impact driver. Most of the time, I don't. But first thing is dealing with the power. Now, I've done it where I've just turned the switch off, that's not the recommended way. Um, the safest way, the way I'm going to recommend, is to go to the breaker and cut the breaker there at the breaker box. That way you're cutting the power from the breaker all the way to the wires that you're about to deal with. And what I like to do, if I can, is do it where it's well lit like this without having to have any lights on, and then just cut the power to the whole house. That's guarantees you're going to be safe. And in my old house, it was wired kind of weird where I may cut the power to the light, but I didn't cut the power to the whole room. Um, it was weird how some of the wiring was done in my old property. So, you know, I just got used to cutting the breaker. The one tool that I'm going to first, talk about that I always have with me is one of these voltage sniffers. And you turn it on, and when you get near a wire, so like I can have it on now, this wire is not hooked up to anything, so it's not making any noise. If I were to go to something that has electricity going through it, it would light up red right here, and it would yell at you. So that just guarantees that the power is off, that you're safe to work. These are Klein screwdrivers. I used Craftsman for a long time, but the big fat rubberized grip that they have on here just is better with my hands as I'm getting older. Typically use a flathead and a Phillips head because while most of the time you're going to deal with Phillips, every once in a while you've got a flathead that you're going to have to mess with. I typically deal with flatheads when I'm removing an old light. And then wire strippers / cutters. And I like these a lot. It says cut copper only on there. The reason why is majority of your houses are going to be wired with copper. However, there are houses all over America that are wired in aluminum. The house that I'm in now is actually aluminum, and we had it inspected. Everything's good, but it's not as good as copper. So this is for copper when you're cutting, but typically I'll just go ahead and do it anyways, especially when it's one of these wires that's not copper, but typically they're talking about your thicker gauged aluminum wiring. This is for regular gauge, and it tells you the gauges there. Copper. So you'll need one of those, and then everything else should come in that fan. The things that you twist together to tie your connections in. And typically, when you're taking out an old light, you're going to have two wires coming out of the ceiling, a white one and a black one. You're going to have a white wire with your fan, your light that you're doing, and a black one. Now, if you're doing something like the dining room light that I have behind me, that's not in the video, but dining room lights that have no fans to them, are going to be wanting black. You just match up the colors. Black goes to black, white goes to white, and you're good. But on a ceiling fan, they give you a blue wire. And it gives you a couple options of how you're going to wire that. Now, you can tie the black and the blue together. So, I kind of remember that as if I didn't turn the power off, it's going to make me black and blue. I tie black and blue together to a black wire. That means that one switch controls the light and the ceiling fan, and you use the pull cords to alternate the speeds, turn them on and off. If I want the fan but not the light, that's when I have to go to the fan directly. On some of your houses, you're going to have two switches, and that's why they come with a black and a blue, because you're going to have a white and a black for one switch, you're going to have a white and a black for another switch. So in that situation, you're going to tie 3 whites together, the 2 whites from the house and the white from the fan. You're going to twist them together, cap them, and this one white is going to both switches. One black switch, or one black wire, gets a blue wire, and one of the other black wires gets the black one. And typically what I'll do is, before I cap them, I'll twist them together and then I'll wrap this around the copper. If it's just using the one, then I have the copper and then I wrap that. But that's your basic wiring for ceiling fans. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment, definitely subscribe, and help out the channel. And that's, like I said, DIY for wiring a light. Thanks for watching Red Dirt Outdoors.